Hey everybody, and welcome to our second official Binary Ninja live stream. Word of warning, my camera keeps shutting off. So if we randomly go to a black screen or go to this screen, sorry, I can also just turn it off if it gets in the way, but we'll figure that out. So anyway, welcome to the stream. I keep changing up what I want to do on this, so feel free to add comments in the chat if you wanna change it, and we'll check it out. But the one thing that I was looking over that I actually really want to do is to look through the changelog. There's actually a bunch of really nifty stuff through here that I actually haven't even played with yet, so I think that sometimes it's useful to poke through that and see what things look like. So another bit of good news is just 11 hours ago, Qt 5.15.2 was released, which y'all may not care a whole lot about, but I'm super excited about because that happens to be the a release that's kind of been holding up some of our internal development, and we've got lots of changes are coming. So the Apple Silicon is coming along, which requires some Qt changes. PySide 2, kind of keeping all these like versions in sync. It's going to be kind of nice. I'm looking forward to moving to the 5, 15, 2. So, all right, let me make sure I turn off my notifications before I get distracted too much. Where did Do Not Disturb go? Yeah, there it is. All right, so yeah, let's check out the changelog. I'll mostly be doing this in Binja itself. And if you look back through like the history of our changes, you'll see we kind of try to have like the big stuff up first. Don't bury the lead. Like major things you want people to know. If there's one thing you read, make sure you check out like the top section, and then we kind of organize it down here below hand into the separate other sections. You can also just see like what's a feature versus what was like either a bug fix or like a tweak on an existing feature, as it's kind of sort of there. So the C++ documentation, actually, if you go to just api.binary.ninja, what used to just have Python docs now has C++ docs. There's still work to be done, but the nice thing is this is just a little bit easier. It's in the offline version of the product as well. You don't have to go poking around the header files to figure out some of these types. And so like one of the big examples is like UI plugins. If you're writing a UI plugin, there's no separate documentation. It's just all inside of here. So like UI context is one that you get passed as a callback if you register a UI plugin. And so here are what you need to know about UI plugins. So it's our UI context. So that's pretty useful. I put that one first on the list because I worked on that one. That, believe it or not, it was actually a huge pain. Found several bugs. It's trying to get like a unified documentation framework that would handle both Python and C++, and linking between them was something we were originally going for, and it was a pain. So we ended up doing them separately, but we'll see how we end up doing that. Reduce the number of sign extensions, zero extension operations in the IL. So this was the high-level IL output. We call this partial variable access. So the idea is that, anytime you have, especially like an x86 where you've got AL and AX and AH and like they're parts of existing registers, movement into one and then access through a different one, you'd see lots of these sort of sign extension or zero extension operations, even aside from obvious instructions that actually like move SX or move ZX that do that as a explicit part of the instruction. And so this was just an improvement to the IL that kind of cleaned those up a lot. User-informed data flow is pretty neat. The best information on that is actually over in the blog. So if you haven't already seen user-informed data flow, you can check that out over on the blog post. But the idea is that if you have, let's see, do I have challenge 2? I think I have it in my stream folder. Let's see. It's what I like to use it on. Oh, it's in there now. I can copy it in there shortly. Let's go pull it out. Also, hi everybody who's here. There it goes again. My camera's shutting off. All right. Well, I might just turn it off entirely. I don't think y'all need to see me, so we'll probably just kill that source. And then you can see more of my screen. So that's fine. And I'll figure out. So the only thing I can think of is I changed my camera settings to disable autofocus because I didn't like that it kept. Oh, you know what? I bet I unplugged the power. Yeah, I bet the USB power is just not running to it. Anyway, I'll check that out later. At least that time I saw it when it happened, and it said battery exhausted, so I know that's what it thinks is the issue. All right, where were we at? I'm gonna copy in this binary. All right. All right, so this is stream, this is binaries. Okay. Let's do this. Copy samples. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so this should show another folder there. Is it not? Is VMware not doing the right thing? Oh, there's another way to do this then. Let's do it this way. Files. And stream. Oh, that's cute. You just start typing automatically searches. Huh. All right. Let's see if that works. There we go. All right. So let's open challenge 2. If I can hit the right folder. I don't see anything in chat. Is my chat working? Somebody say something in chat just so I know that people are alive. It's already hard enough when you don't know if people are there or not. All right. And actually, yeah, one thing I want to be doing probably in future episodes, I really want to set up like either Discord or some other chat stuff, and we'll bring some other people on because I don't know how real streamers do it, like talking to an empty camera all day. All right, so let's open this file. So this one is just a little crack me. I like to use it. It's something like really basic I wrote a while ago. But one of the things it does is it takes your input and can you calculate this dynamic value? Like Binge's actual static data flow analysis does it for you. So if you switch over to, actually just switch to high level IL, it literally is like just showing you this constant value that your input's compared to. So it's not a particularly hard challenge when you're looking at that level. But one thing that's nice is we can actually use user-informed data flow to, let's see if I switch to MLL, or if you have to be an SSA form or not. I don't know that you do. There we go. Maybe you do. All right, so let's switch to this one. Where'd it go? Got the right one selected. Rename variable. Now wait a minute. What am I missing? Set user variable value. Right. And it's in medium level IL. What am I doing wrong? Let me pull up, make sure I'm on the right version. Pull up a copy asset VM. Yeah, that works. All right. Let's try the Mac version just to see if I'm doing something obviously wrong. Switch to medium level IL. I don't see it at all. Where'd it go? 2527 on this one. So I'm not an SSA, but I thought as long as it was also still an SSA variable, it'd still work. So now I am an SSA. Thank you for commenting, Chase. I appreciate it. And Josh has given me some helpful advice here. So yeah, I don't see it at all. What am I missing? Something's weird. This is a terrible demo. Actually, there's another way we can demo this too. So I think in the original blog post, there's actually like a sample file. So let's grab this one and see if that works. Well, if there's something wrong with this one. Crack me. All right. So one of the things I'm trying to do is not cheat ahead too much and like dry run and practice all the streams. I want to do them all live on stream. So when I make mistakes, they'll be natural ones, and you can see me fixing them, which presupposes that I fix them. But all right. So this one, it's going to do this Rax2. Oh, you know what I bet it was? I know. I bet what it was. No, I was in GraphView. Wasn't I in GraphView? I was in GraphView. So medium level IL, let's try SSA form. That's really weird. Something's not right. Did like user-informed data flow get broken in? So let's try something else. So let's try this one. Let's actually go back to the latest stable in case there's something on dev that's screwy. And let's go to medium allow. I'm going crazy, right? Something's going. It's got to be. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what the bug is. Assignment sites. That's what it is. Set the value. Okay. Let's try this again. I had the wrong version of that one. Set yes. Okay. That's what I was doing wrong. It's when the variable is being set. See? Oh, good. We can all learn together. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, and then Brian chimed in as well too. This is why I got the pros to keep me straight. So, and you know what? Honestly, if I probably would have read the where'd it go? There we go. If I would have read this, look first, note the definition site. So right, so we have to basically find wherever any of these variables are defined or created, and that's where we can go ahead and change them. So in this particular, let's go back to my example. You should see the same thing. Racks number 11. I think in this case, I'm in SSA form. All right, well, I don't know why that one's not working. Then there is something else going on. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Brian points out, like, if you select a variable, like, especially in SSA form, there is only one definition site. So it's impossible to have multiple places where it's assigned, so you should always be able to set it. Yeah, the UI should do that automatically. That would be nice. But in this case, so this value is being set. And if it's equal to 0, we go here, we bail out. But instead, we could just say, like, look, let's set the value. And let's set it to constant value. And let's make it 6. Why? Because, I don't know, make it not 0. And so you notice now that the analysis says if false. Like, this is never going to happen. It will never take the true path. It's always gonna take the false path, and I'm not gonna go through here. Likewise here, we've got it. If it's not equal to 0, this second check, if we want to be able to go this way, we want this to always be not 0, right? So set, so this should be if true if we do it right. So at the definition, we set user value. Yeah. It's not there either. Something else is going on. All right, I'm doing something else weird unless that is where that, yeah, that's where that variable is assigned. It's not showing up. Well, I found a bug though. We'll need to have to check out. So the idea though is that I think there's a couple of interesting applications of this. One is you can use the user-informed data flow to sort of take a static analysis tool. Like, so, Vintra's just doing static analysis where it has to assume all possible code paths. But you can actually sort of like inform it, and you can say, no, actually, treat this value as this, treat this value as this, treat this value as this. You could get those values from a dynamic execution. You could get it through, whatever other analysis you want, and you could sort of like produce a new call graph or a new analysis that was based on that exact value, which is kind of neat. So, new type libraries was the next major change. Where change let go. And this is one that I think we're gonna continue to keep rolling out new type libraries. But this makes a really a huge difference. So I'm excited that those are coming. And actually, Python 2 is dead. So on my dev builds here, like you cannot get. Do I have it installed? Yeah, you cannot get Python 2 working with Vintra. We've explicitly not shipped Python 2 support, and I think on the latest dev, there's even some API things that are actually heartbreaking on it. And that's the plan, is to push new type annotations. So that's some might think of it as an anti-feature, but I'm actually excited because I think that'll make things prettier. All right, so this is actually, I think, where some of the interesting ones that people may not be aware of live. So this is the easy one, right? Indentation guides. So if you're in high-level IL, these little gray bars. So Josh, who's actually in chat, implemented those, and I think it's really, really clean, and it's a nice visual differentiator when you have a large binary. These different nesting levels, and this kind of brings up like a philosophical conversation we have a lot, because people are like, I want C style format. I want braces, at the beginning and end, or I want to separate things out by braces. But there's a lot of sort of stylistic things, like do you put the braces on their own line and now you've increased the vertical space that you're consuming, or do you put them inside like the code itself, which makes it a little bit harder to read. And so there's sort of like a trade-off that you lose. But because we control the display, like we can do this instead. We can still give you that really clean indentation, but we can do it with this visual line indicator, which is not novel, right? Like there's plenty of text editors that will do this, so we didn't invent it. But I think just looking for like the right solution to the problem is kind of nifty. So block highlighting when you implement it, right? That's you, yeah. So you can click on the bar. Is that the idea? Click the bar here, and like the whole thing gets syntax highlighted, so you can see more easily. One thing that I do think is kind of nifty is that our cross-references update for ranges. It's actually a really cool thing that I think a lot of things don't notice. That you can actually select a range of things and get cross-references to all of them. Ooh, that reminds me. I forgot. Brian, this is a little sneak. I'm not going to show it. I don't have it building locally yet, but Brian's working on a really, really cool feature. So one of like the top requested features, actually, it might actually be. Let's go check. I'm really curious. What is, and sort by thumbs up, what are the most requested? Yeah, it is synchronized navigation of split views, right? So this is a feature that I think Geeter does particularly well. And other tools are like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And so we actually have a version of that coming for Binary Ninja. It's not sort of like the complete thing that we plan to implement. It actually came out of some work. So Brian is building better mapping between ILs, and so you can already get that on the latest dev. If, for example, I flip over to like, sure, let's go low IL. Right. Here's it's a great example. So this is a call instruction. So if I do current low IL call instruction 15, right, it's an IL call. And if I ask it what the medium level IL is, well, that's the equivalent medium level IL. And so I can look at that, switch to medium level IL, and sure enough, I can see, yeah, that line is where that one came from. But you'll notice it's also setting this return value. And in some cases, so this is a bad example, but if we open up when the Bomb Labs has one. If we have one, right, where there's like multiple arguments to a function call, shows this multiple, it shouldn't be. This fopen has multiple. These arguments actually come from other instructions, right? And so if we actually go back and forth from high level IL to the other ILs, we'll see that those the arguments themselves come from different locations, right? Obviously that makes sense in the disassembly. You're going to see all the arguments being set up, something like that. But in higher level ILs, you just get them kind of folded into one. So one really nice feature is that you can, and actually Brian mentioned, I'm trying to remember, is the API for the multiple select in dev right now, or is that still waiting on your branch? I know you've made some changes that do live on dev currently. And I'm trying to remember if this is, well, let's just try it. So it's current, we're in MLIL 22. Yeah, not yet. So this right. So this will work. I can say, what is the low level IL equivalent of this call? And it gives me that call instruction. Can I get an index on this? .index. Yeah, it just gives me the raw instruction object. And so these mappings that go back and forth are right now just one-to-one, right? So one little subtle thing is that our API is generally like bv.get function. So you'll notice there's get function at and get functions at. And so we try to be consistent where if it's got an S, if it's a plural, it'll have multiple things that it returns. So you'll get like a list back of all the different, in this case, functions. Now, most of the time, there's only going to be one, and that's looking for function starts as well, right? So like we could click up here. Only one function starts here, which is typically the case, certainly. But if you do have like multiple functions that live at the same location, different architectures or whatever, then you would be able to differentiate them with that API. Whereas just the default that most people end up using is get function at, which just returns a function, and which is most of the time what you want. But with ILs in particular, right? Like what would be nice is to do like a many-to-many mapping. So to be able to say, look, at this fopen here, where it's got this call with these arguments that are being set, or even better, if I look at high-level IL and we look at that fopen, let's see, where did my fopen here, right? Then it's really combining lots of these operations into one. That we saw those. It's basically this entire basic block, right? All gets folded into actually, and even the in file too, right? Because the output, the return value for that fopen going into the value in file, or the data variable in file, is just part of the assignment, right? It's just storing it straight in. We don't have that interstitial EAX that it's saving off. So all of those are getting combined into one. And so there's new APIs that Brian's working on, which are like, they're really close. Some of these things he's working on, the ability to say like, look, I want to be able to get multiples of these. So give me all of the ILs that actually fold into this one. And that's useful. Like there's a lot of really interesting things you can do with that, which is nice. But one of the best parts about that is that we're going to be able to get this split view out of it. So you'll be able to say, open me, it'll be a little bit like split to a new window. And so you've got your side by side, like in one view, maybe you've got, disassembly, and the other one you've got medium level IL or high level IL, whatever IL. And then as you click in one, it will highlight everything from the other one, right? So again, very similar to kind of the feature that Ghidra has, and I think that'll be super nice. So it's not actually a totally separate window. It actually shows up as a doc widget, and so much like the layout, kind of reset, Control Shift R. I think that's mapped to my window manager. So layout, reset, yeah. There we go. So like a doc widget's here that you can move around and rearrange. You'll be able to get the same thing with that sidebar. So you'll be able to like make it like right here. And then as you're clicking around in disassembly, maybe you've got high level IL or vice versa, like however you want it. And it'll highlight multiple instructions. So that's a super cool feature that Brian's real close to. That'll land on dev any day now. So a couple of changes that I think are really nice that landed as well in the UI that I think a lot of people have noticed is so Shusheng, actually, who is our summer intern, who's still working part-time for us, has really like he has been using Bidget a bunch, and he had this long wish list of all these like ideas. He has a ton of great ones, and this was a nice one. If you've got a comment on a and I don't hit the wrong button. If you've got a comment in wherever you're analyzing something, and you just double click it, you can now go straight to editing it, right? And that's actually really nice. Same thing for, I think, function name. No, so functions themselves are going to go to them, right? But variables, that's a global verb, so that's going to go there. What's a good example? I think like this variable. Yeah, right. So if it's a stack variable in a function, you're going to get just like edit the variable name. Just by double clicking, which is really nice. So I really like, and fields too. So if you actually have a structure that you've defined, you can just double click a field in it and we'll let you rename it really quickly. So little useful stuff like that I think increase usability. You do kind of have to like discover that it's there, but the nice thing is you can just hit semicolon and bring up the comment edit dialog box. Again, it'll still work. Just a little cleaner way to do it. So, all right, what else do we got in our change log? Okay, all right, so here's a fun one. Custom flow graph edge styles. So Peter actually implemented this, and so yeah, by the way, like a little aside, like a lot of this stuff, like double clicking that to edit things is really easy to do, right? Like that's not a hard kind of UI change, just it's testing and that kind of stuff that goes along with it. But like we really do value ideas for like how can we simplify workflows and things. And so if you've got suggestions, this stuff we can't think of all these things. We really do our best and we try to come up with that stuff, but would love to hear when you guys have ideas, let us know, because that's where a lot of these things kind of come from. So okay, custom flow graphs. This I wanna play with. So I've got, let's see if it works, a snippet. All right, yeah. So there's a little flow graph. So this was, for a while, people were saying that if you added flow graph edges and nodes in a different order, they wouldn't render right. So I have this little snippet, and my snippets, by the way, are I'll link to them in chat here if I can. Let's see. So I'm going to copy from a VM, paste it through handoffs. I bet I can into a different device. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so there's my gist. By the way, do you guys say gist or gist? I guess like the gist of it, like the overview, kind of makes more sense that it would be pronounced gist, but I say gist like GitHub. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think on that. But this has a whole bunch of like random code samples that anytime I think of something that's more than like a one-liner that I want to save, in fact, even some of the one-liners that I want to save, like debug, the debug log API, right? So this is the thing that I've showed off on stream before, but if you're looking at decompilation of a function and you hit that up, it will actually show you all of the optimizations that occur during decompilation to get you your simplified control flow graph. It's really, really cool. And so this is a debug. This is a report collection, so you can actually create flow graphs or different other things and put them in this kind of like this. All these UI elements are sort of built into core APIs, so you can use this with other things. It's a really nice set of APIs to rework. And so this generates separate flow graphs, and it's also what I'm talking about with the changes that Peter made in the latest stable, where we now support different styles and stuff for flow graphs. So this isn't really taking advantage of it yet because this feature has existed for a while. But my little snippet here, let's actually take this out and let's make a little plugin. So let's copy that. And where did I put my Visual Studio Code? There we go. All right. So let's make a plugin that we can test. Ninja import dots plugin. That's what this is for. Register plugin? Or is it just register? Just register. Or it's not spelled right. Also, also just register. Plugin. It's a plugin command. I forget. Plugin command. Yep. Okay. Plugin command. Register the plugin. Command import register. And it is name, description, and action. Oops. Yeah. Find it. I don't know what's up with that on the right, the blue. I don't know if you guys are seeing that in stream. It's like highlighting the background weird. Anyway, and new graph is our, yeah, okay. We're gonna need from Binary Ninja import flow graph node. Can y'all hear my dog barking in the background? I'm curious. Plugin. Yeah, you guys see the blue too. Weird. It is a white. He is a wire fox terrier, and he's almost a year old now, so he's still a bit of a puppy. Yeah, thank you, Peter. Okay, so yeah, let's get all these APIs while we're at it. So um, we're gonna need binaries, a plugin command. Oh, yeah. Plugin command. Did I type out wrong? Oh, it's not the module, right? From it. What? Register. What am I doing wrong? I mean, I could just do as I say, not as I do, right? And all right, so no, let's do this the right way. You know what? This is. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna be lazy. All right, so from binary ninja dot plugins. No, it's not plugin. Should just be able to take exactly that, actually, right? Thank you, Matthew, whichever is the correct pronunciation. Let's do it that from binary ninja import plugin command. Yep. All right. We're gonna need edge style, theme color. Those are, I think, enums that we're gonna want. Yeah, looks like it, I think. Yep. All right. So plugin command, edge style, theme color. There we go. Let's see what else we got. All right. So now we're gonna need plugin command.register. And that's going to give us our flow graph. And so this is going to make, let's make our same little flow graph just as a plugin. So let's restart Binja. And actually, you know what? I think I can. Basic sample flow graph. Yeah, so that's actually a change I've made to snippets recently. So the snippet editor, oh, wait, nope. That didn't work right. Something, sample plugin, example flow graph didn't work right. Yeah, so that was actually my original one. That's not my plugin. And let's kill this one. Sample plugin. Okay. Oh, did I save it? Oh yeah, helps if you save it. All right. So now I have example. I don't have example. What? Log. Show log. I don't see any errors loading that plugin. Why is it not loading? And dwarf import was specifically loaded too, wasn't it? All right, I may have that. No, I don't have it loaded in plugin manager. So dwarf in sample, yeah, loaded sample plugin. Oh, does this, the fact that it's registered still might require, yeah, that's what it is. Okay. No, it's not. That's still my other one. That's not my example one. Example flow graph. All right, yes. So the issue here is snippets, right? Which unfortunately, I have my example flow graph named snippet, or I have my basic sample flow graph snippet, and it's spelled wrong. Cute. Is available even if there's no binary view open, right? So like if I'm just here at the main menu, I've actually changed it. Now, most of the snippets will actually just fail, like because a lot of these require a binary view. And so it's going to give me an error that like, you've got no binary view, sorry. It used to be snippets would refuse to like run and not even expose themselves because they can say like, no, I require a context that has a binary view. But I've changed it so that if you want to write a snippet that, does stuff like flow graphs, you don't need a binary view to do it. That said, my plugin commands, right? I'm registering a plugin command. If we actually look at the API docs on that, registers a plugin. And the callback is a function to call with the binary view as an argument. Right. So the point here is that regular plugins can't actually just run like on their own. They need to have a binary view. And honestly, this is kind of something that the API should make easier. That said, you can still do it. You can just make this a UI plugin instead. And UI plugins can run wherever, whenever. They don't have to get a binary view. They're going to get a UI context object, which they can use to do all sorts of other stuff. But in our particular case, we just want to make a regular plugin. So easy way to do this is just open up any random file. And then if we do our example flow graph, we should get that, or we should find out. Oh, right. I just went through explaining how NewGraph takes a binary view, and then I don't actually do anything with it, right? So example flow graph. Flow graph is not defined. Yep. You have to add that. So I restart and rerun just out of habit because one, it's, oops, I did it twice, because it's fast. And if I'm working with binary views in particular, let's do one more look. We're going to need branch type. Maybe I should actually read through here in advance instead of just assuming I got everything right. Let's try that. So I restart a lot. You don't actually have to. You can reload plugins other ways, but I just do it that way. All right. Show graph report is not defined. Oh, I missed one. Yep. Yep, that'll do it. This is really sloppy import here, but that's all right. This is a stream. All right, so open up our view, trigger our example flow graph, and we've got our flow graph. Right now, this is our snippet already did all this, but I just like making it a plugin so it's a little bit easier to ship, and we can post it afterwards, put it on a repo full of stream samples. But what I really want to do now is play with the new stuff which Peter added, which I mentioned, is the edges now can take fancy stuff. So let's pull up the API docs and actually look at how that's done. So flow graph. So we've got flow graph edge and edge style. All right, so edge style. All right, so it's going to take a style. And there's a width. Oh, and then the theme colors. Yeah, we're going to want to. So it defaults to no color. I wonder what. Let's try this. So style is equal to none. And we've got those. So we've got edge style as our enum. So let's poke around in there and see what we've got. Oh, right. Don't do that. Let's do. Oops, that one's not enum, is it? I actually don't know how to use that one. So let's see. So you pass in a style. So Peter, if he's still watching, he'll probably like do this more easily, but I don't mind going through a little bit since this will be good practice. So we've got our flow graph edge class. And so we're creating our node. Adding an outgoing edge. Oh, here we actually, yeah. Oh, Visual Studio Code, you were so helpful. Where'd it go? Edge type, target, and style. Okay, so I can actually pass in an edge style on this outgoing edge, right? So let's make, let's do this. Let's make edge style equals, oh man, we need some documentation of this. But I'm gonna get, actually, let's just do style equals none, width equals, well, let's play with width first. 5, theme color equals color dot red. I think there's a way to do theme color. Yeah. So actually, I think we have, so if we actually look through all the enums on the theme colors, we can find the false branch color and true branch color. So that's actually kind of the nice, Binja has a colorblind mode if you don't know it. And it will automatically turn things like the normal red, green to I think a blue and green. Colorblind mode. Yellow, orange rather, orange and blue. All right, so it switches the colors automatically. So if you're using the enums to do these things, like the core like theming will change it for you automatically, so you don't have to specify a specific color. So let's actually, and the A and the B here, let's do a false branch and a true branch color, right? So we'll make this one false branch. So let's do false style is equal to that. True style. Style equals false style. Style equals true style. And we'll see what we broke. You notice I'm so confident in my abilities here. Example flow graph. We didn't break, but we also did not get the edge coloring I was expecting. Did I save? I did save. So let's look. So A gets an outgoing edge, A gets an outgoing edge. Oh, in this case, add outgoing edge. I've already told it it's an unconditional branch as an edge type, right? So that's gonna it's probably over. Is it? Branch type. So yeah, I can already, there we go, user defined branch maybe. Maybe that's will let me do it. So I think, well, the other way we could do this is let's do, yeah, those visual artifacts are funny. I could probably do true and false here, true branch and false branch, right? So I could, because those are kind of built in, so I can already do something like that with the existing. That's not the new feature, right? So this should, yeah, so we could already do that, right? That was kind of already built in. That's how the actual normal flow graph works. It uses those exact same APIs. But the interesting thing is going to be these two. So let's see if that lets us. Oh yeah, there we go. So we have to do a user-defined style. So that makes sense, right? Like you can use the sort of default out-of-the-box stuff. That looks awful, right? Because I made it so big, which makes sense. But that's interesting. So let's make the width only slightly lower. And let's actually make true maybe thicker than that. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I see it too. Those polygons are weird. And it's my window manager. It's because I'm messing with this window manager that just had to get cute and try i3 out. But so let's do that. We've got our colors. We can actually mess with the colors differently, but the style, this is what I want to figure out. So let's do, I think there's a way to do like dotted lines. So let's poke in the API a little bit more and see what does this edge style do. Ooh, edge pen style. Where does this come from? Ooh, okay. So is this like an enum where we can OR things together potentially, or it's not else? It's solid line. Okay, so it looks like that. Yeah, actually, Fusion 12 bugs are quite likely to. I could probably play with acceleration on or off or something to change that. That's a very good point. Actually, that's almost certainly it because I wasn't running VMware 12 last week and I didn't have that problem with Visual Studio Code. So that's very likely it is. All right, so we've got edge pen style. So we'll need to add that to our and now let's import edge pen style. So enums dot enum dot. Oh, no. Where does that one come from? Or is that a Qt thing? Let's see. No, enums dot edge pen style. From enums binary in enums import edge pen style. Okay. So that time I got the full syntax right. All right. But wait a minute, is an edge style also? No, edge style was a class. Okay, so edge pen style, and now actually edge pen style. Oh, actually, Glenn, did you ever land that? Oh, yeah, you did. Look at that. That's another little change on dev for folks to play with. So Glenn added a feature from Zonch. Is that, am I even pronouncing that right? Yeah, it's like a Python-based shell. And one of the tricks it does is you can just put question mark at the end of a line, and it basically wraps it in a help. Right. Although in this case I wanted a dir, not a help, but that's all right. It was so IPython originally. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So interesting. I never used that one in IPython. All right. So now we've got all sorts of different other styles. So we can do a dash dot line, a dash dot dot line. Ooh, let's do a dash dot line. Conch, like a conch shell, CONCH. Conch. Isn't that how you spell? Man, if that's actually how it's pronounced, that's not helpful because so let's make the false one that, right? So let's trigger this. Conch. Okay. So it's a hard C and SH. Conch. All right. I can't even. I don't get that. But I'll take your word for it. Oh, we got a bug. What do we break? Dash dot line is not defined. Oh, right. Edge pen style dots. Oh, look at that. It's a cute little dot dash line. So that's all that to get to the new feature. So that's the new feature that that Peter added. He's doing some nifty stuff, and he knows you still get all like the regular kind of highlighting stuff that you get with the regular flow graphs. This is the flow graph API is the same one that Binja is using for all of its graph layouts. So all of its things it's doing here, you're going to be able to do in a flow graph you create. In fact, one of the neat tricks is you can even parent a flow graph into a binary view and say like this flow graph is actually part of this binary view. And then if you have like cross references and you create like function references, you can double click it and go to that binary view in that reference, right? So it'll actually kind of tie it all together, which is a really nice feature that when you're extending things out, you can really easily add your own visualizations of whatever other stuff you want. So Peter, we'll definitely have him on the stream later, and we'll talk more about what he's doing because he originally built this because he's doing some super nifty flow graph work where he's taking Dataflow graphs and doing some interesting analysis on binaries and letting you query properties. It's neat. I don't want to spoil the fun. I'll let him talk about that sometime later because I think it's pretty cool. So, and even like the keyboard navigation, right, works the same as it does in a normal flow graph. So if you happen to have my snippets for like Vim bindings for keyboard navigation, you can do that. All right, all that just to get a basic plugin and show some edges. But let's see, what other new features we got? Oh yeah, so another thing that Shushung did was he worked on, there was a bunch of context menus that were missing from the right click. So if you right click and choose like display as it's a decimal value and you want to display it as binary instead. There was a bunch of things like that were missing in linear view versus graph view. And so Shusheng's did an awesome job on the last stable pushing a bunch of new features there. So there's a whole bunch of things that were not new features overall, but just weren't there in linear view that are now. So there's much better feature parity between linear view and graph view. Even like the copy as stuff, I think was not there before. There's a bunch of other things, like even like edit current lines. So right, if like I'm in linear and I go to assembly, just hitting E, that used to not work before, and it does now. So it's super nice. Although it does. Oh no, the scroll bar bug is back. Oh, that bug is so fun. Oh, so Brian's tempting me because he just says he pushed a test branch called test mappings. This stream, we're gonna go to 7 today. I think I got feedback last time that we should 2 hours was a reasonable length of time. So as long as people are, if everyone drops off in 30 minutes, then we'll probably stop. But yeah, if the build goes, I do actually have Binja working locally. I don't have PySide working locally, but I do have a bit. I could pull that branch and build it if it works. It might be faster waiting for the update system. So we'll see how that goes. But hype can be see. I feel like it's not Twitch, so I feel weird saying like bring on the hype train in chat and I don't know all the weird things Twitch streamers say. I don't know. Like I'm torn between how much is this a casual like hanging out stream and how much is this just like a binge of information that people actually want. I think we'll probably cross that line both ways pretty frequently. So yeah, so you can hit E on linear view. That's nice. And that scroll bar bug has been fun. It's actually been a regression that's happened lots of times. Oh, that's another really good one, right? This is where we're going through the list. So the you can control R search through your command line history, which is really nice, right? So that's a really, really cool feature that Glenn added that I forget that that's in there. And on Mac OS, I believe it also responds to Command R. No, actually, I think that was the thing. We actually made it still be Control R, right? Because in a Mac, Command R is never really shell command type stuff. So, oh, sorry, thank you, Glenn. That was Josh that implemented that. And then I fixed the Mac binding because Josh is not a Mac user. That's why. So thank you, Josh, for that feature. That is a nice, that's a very nice one. That was really, yeah. See, I really like it. So you can not only get like just all your history, but if you search for BV, you get sub-search stuff. Yeah, that's nifty. And I even get transparency, which is kind of cute. I hadn't noticed that before, and I tested it. I like that. That's a good one. All right. Brian, another thing that Brian worked on, which is much improved, is if I hit I between this call instruction, it stays honed in on that call, almost. There's a glitch there with high level layout. I think actually some of those little gotchas are what is actually it's going to be improved as a result of what he's working on with that mapping stuff. But it's significantly better now about tracking when you switch views. So we're still on that fopen between high level IL and we got lost on that transition. I think the high level IL mappings are still missing on this push. I forget exactly what it is, but you're much more accurate now switching between views by hitting I or doing this. And that's going to be continued to improve because that really is a usability like annoyance, right? It's quite the paper cut when you just hit I to switch and then you got to like scroll around like where was I and you lose your context. So that's vastly improved, which is super nice. Flow graph edge routing improvements for switch statements. So also, yeah, I don't have a good example of a switch statement, a really big switch statement, but the way that switch statements are broken up is a little bit cleaner. There's still some work to be done to make flow graphs prettier for like really large flow graphs, right? This is obviously not one. I don't remember if I have a much bigger binary, but oh, this is one that actually shows off the better type library information too. So that's kind of handy. Let's see, 4fnbv dot actually, I think I can do max lambda x dot, what's current function dot, so no, not size. Size is not a thing, but you can get total bytes. Yeah. So that's back to my rant from last week about like function size not being a real thing, because there is no such thing as function size, because how do you count gaps in basic blocks? How do you count interleave functions? Yeah. So anyway, total bytes is a thing. So I think I can do, give me the biggest function in the binary. Am I missing a map? This is what happens when I try to get too crazy. So map lambda x dot total bytes bv dot functions, and then max of that. That wasn't quite what I wanted, was it? Right? My goal is to actually get the function itself. So I want to map. Yeah, that's getting too. This is when it's better off to switch away from trying to do a crazy one-liner. So for f in bv dot functions, max equals 0 for f in bv dot functions. If f dot total bytes is greater than max, biggest equals f, max equals f dot total bytes. All right, so now we've got our biggest function. Let's see if that was really. Is there just a really big gap? That doesn't make sense. There's got to be bigger functions here. Or maybe not. What? I mean, maybe that's just a bad binary to test this on. So let's open up 4. I printed f. Yeah, I want the biggest function, and I want to go to that, and I want to look at it. Yeah, that's the idea. Is I want to get the biggest function. So like max equals 0. Let's do this self-contained. And then let's print f. I think, yeah, there we go. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, right, biggest, not f. Thank you. That's what you're saying. Biggest. Right. Thanks, y'all. Sorry for being slow. Okay, that worked, and I didn't expect it to. That's actually really nice. Huh. So yeah, I could actually just click the function name in the Python log. I guess that was some of the stuff Peter added where you can click stuff in logs to go there. That worked better than I expected. All right, so here's our biggest function. I forget the point of that. I was gonna do something about showing the flow graph. I don't even remember now. But anyways. Yeah. It's just zooming around. Okay, so I do know something else I want to do though. Let's also my flow graph one go. So let's take this flow graph and you can now have multiple root nodes in a flow graph. So you used to not be able to have separate root nodes, but I think if we have, so this is adding, let's add a D. And this was because when we originally built the flow graph, it was specifically for, function graphs. And functions have one entry point, at least in the Binary Ninja's current state. And so you always had to have one made root node, but that's no longer the case. So we can have a D. And I think if we add, so let's add D, and then we're going to add another edge from D to say B. We should have a multi from D, add an outgoing edge to, sure, C. Let's do that one. What a break. Graph is not defined. Oh, did I do something up here? Yep, I did, didn't I? Oh no, hold on. That shouldn't matter. We're not even using graph. Oh, that's really funny. That was a bug from the original version of that thing. Yeah, I shouldn't be calling graph. Where am I calling graph? Oh, right here. That's a good way to clean that up. There we go. Yay, cool. All right, so that's a somewhat new. Now I will say, oh, that's right. This doesn't have the edge stuff that it did in the other one. So we don't have to have just one root node. We can have multiple. But could that be optimized? Yeah, right. Like that got switched and that was over there. So there's work to be done improving the flow graph. Here is a subtle one. I switches you between IL views, right? Let's get our default zoom. So I switches between IL views, but Shift I can go backwards through IL views. Brian likes to map that to brackets now, so he'll use right bracket and left bracket to map through ILs, which I think is another nice, really kind of natural, reasonable mapping for those keys, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it was like, so I'm gonna skip the bugs. There was definitely some bug fixes, but what are other new features? All right, so that was it among the UI updated features. What about, so that was a big one. When you reopen a BNDB, it doesn't reanalyze as much. I know some people had, Greg, a friend of ours named Greg, had wanted that one for a long time. He'd been asking like, why is it triggering too much reanalysis? And so I think maybe Brian may have caught that bug, or somebody got that one added. We've open sourced all of our architectures. Of course, that's done. What? I haven't even tried that yet. Save analysis database with options. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was another new one, right? So if you find your BNDB getting bigger and bigger, or you're sharing it with somebody else, you can save with options, and you actually probably want to check those two boxes and clean up your analysis database to just get the current state of your analysis. Doesn't need to undo history and previous snapshots, and so that'll make your saves much smaller. That's right. See, I'm forgetting things too, so I'm going through the changelog. Yeah, there was a bug related to that too, where it would save BNDBs even if you hadn't actually saved it, which got fixed. Get theme color added to the API. Oh, so. Get theme, is it? Get theme color, which one was that in? I mean, did the changelog lie? Oh, get theme color, that's, yeah, it's, get theme color is the native API, but where is the Python version of that? Probably under theme? Let's see. Yeah, there's the enum for theme color. But that was not exposed. So well, now wait a minute. This has, so the triage view calls get theme color. This can't be that new of an API. I don't remember that one. Get theme color. Oh, in the UI API? Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Theme color. Oh, that search could use some work. That's interesting. get theme color. Interesting. Oh, that's going to give you the UI theme color, right? So that's going to give you the actual color. Like if you want to do something with the theme colors and you want to like say like regardless of what the current theme is, I want to know what the current theme thinks red is, and you're going to render it. I bet that's what that's for. Just actually give you back a. So let's see. Import binary ninja UI dot theme. Can I get to it from here? How would I get to this? Let's see here. Yeah, actually, so get theme color. Yeah. Okay, and I should be able to pass in a BN theme color object. So is that the native one or the enum from the Python API? Let's click that. Oh, cool. BN theme color. Yeah, all right, so let's do binary ninja UI dot, what was it again? BN theme color. Is it gonna live in there? Where's it gonna live? Or is it under the binge enums? Not there. Where is that? That being that. Yeah, being theme colors in the core. So where is Ninja core? So the Ninja core and the Python API. Where would I get that? Oh, yeah. Well, actually, that tells me kind of what I already want to know, though, which I was going to try just to see what it returned. But it gives you a Q color, right? So it's a QT color object, which we could definitely use to get out like RGB or whatever other representation you wanted. So that was the goal. Yeah, I'm curious what that is, but yeah. BN theme color. Where would I get BN theme color? Yeah, okay. So I could do this. Oh, I need to get it into the other, other clipboard buffer. Let's try that. All right, let's try this. Core.bn theme color dot address color. Yeah, I did wonder about that. When you play around with the core APIs, that is not uncommon side effect. Because you're poking directly into C, so things can go bye-bye. All right. Well, I'll stop messing with that one. I don't need to keep doing that. What else do we have? Let's look through our changelog actually here. Let me do it on this screen again. So, what other fun ones? Save with options. Get theme color. Disable default log added to the API. See if that works. Yeah, I like that little question mark. That is kind of handy because it is annoying to have to like go home, help, parentheses, or, like do that. So yeah, I like that better. Yeah, this was actually a change that a couple people have now kind of like popped into the Slack to ask about. If you've been doing a lot of like headless processing, where you've been, I don't remember what that is. Doing something actually in a test script, you'll be able to the logging level has changed. So it used to be we suppressed a lot of logs in headless because we thought, well, like it's headless, nobody's going to be looking at it. And then we sort of thought better of it. We're like, actually, no, that doesn't make sense, because if you're debugging and testing your headless script before you deploy it, you want to see errors. And so it's, we'd rather default to the same thing as the UI. And then if you want to change that behavior in your headless plugin because you're sort of done with your testing, then you can do that. You're welcome, Brian. Yeah, the Control R on Mac OS was a change that I made, because by default, if you tell Qt like you want to use a control hotkey, it'll just switch Mac OS to command, which most of the time is what you want. Control C, Command C for copy and paste and close and new tab and all that stuff. Usually you want it to map it, but shell commands, Control R is just Control R. That's just always the case. So that was a global change. So anyway, so the headless logging changed, which was a thing. And so yeah, you just have to call some APIs, call the log APIs to change how that behaves. We actually have a blacklist to make sure Pythons that are too new don't break Binja, and so we kind of wait to test things, and particularly with PySide. And so 3.9 was disabled, and before the last stable, we actually did testing and saw that it was working again, and allowed Python 3.9 to work several months ago. Yeah, that's actually a new ability. I forgot about that. You can undefine a variable. So if you've actually created a variable and you want to undefine it, that wasn't an option before. So that's cute. It actually adds in this one. But you can undefine it and be like, no, I don't want that variable there. It's just noise from GCC left over for padding. That got added in the last stable. What else do we got? The download provider. So the download provider is, look, we have had an epic battle. So if you've used Better Ninja for a while, it's been a really long history of these things breaking, and just breaking in really annoying ways. So we've got 3 different download providers now. Hey, Valgrind. Right now we are going through the changelog from 2.2, and I think I have found some literally features I forgot were in 2.2. So we're just going through that list and taking meandering side tributaries whenever it seemed appropriate. And also my camera crashed, so that's why you don't get the face cam. It's not showing up. We could switch to like the side cam, but nobody cares about that, so that was good. So yeah, exactly. Link.lit is all harder. Oh man, the nightmares we have gone through in static linking versus dynamic linking, but so there's a couple of problems here, and I'll skip this if you guys don't actually care, but it is kind of interesting because you want to have, for example, OS-based certificate bundles used, because you don't want to have to ship your own cert bundle if you can help it. It's not especially if you have to maintain it. Like if you're getting it naturally as a part of the library that's updated, then great. But there's a lot of work that goes into like browser bundle certs, and so trying to like maintain that would be a headache. So you want that. And then, the advantages too, if you're using like libraries that will work with native settings, and you get things like proxy settings that are, native. And so it's nice to use like these APIs are out there, but then you run into like different Linuxes with different versions of OpenSSL, and OpenSSL in general is a nightmare, like namespace stuff, just trying to like, yeah, we've had like lots and lots of attempts, and every time like we bring it up, someone's like, oh, the answer is easy, you just do X, and it's always like, no, we tried X, and then that broke in this particular configuration. So we've changed all sorts of stuff. So right now there are actually 3 different download providers, and this is literally just what gets updates in Binary Ninja. It's also what gets you like the start page, this active content there, change logs, anything like that, as well as again just like app updates come via these download providers. And so there's the Qt download provider, which for a while I thought was our best. And Glenn just commented in chat, like, it is officially cursed. It is. There's a really, yeah, the short explanation, if I can channel the answer, is the Qt download provider uses some Qt downloading APIs, which have the feature that they'll actually like pull for events and like do UI updates and stuff, right? They don't block, which is generally a nice thing, right? Like you don't want your UI to block while you're downloading something. That sounds like a great thing. And it is, except when it isn't, which I can, yeah, there's a GitHub issue if you want to track it, or in fact, I think even Brian and Glenn were both talking on the GitHub issue about what the actual root cause is. We had a fun chat in our internal Slack about it. But the short explanation is stuff is breaking, and there's some debate as to actually what the cause is. But the Qt download provider is prone to some weirdness as a result of that. The Python download provider literally just uses requests or URL lib. And we thought like this would be nice because like we're already using Python and or shipping a Python, but like we updated like those libraries are already using all the native stuff, except they're also still using OpenSSL internally for their actual HTTPS or TLS, and so many problems. So all that built up to the core download provider, which really should just be called the Rust download provider, because this was actually the first bit of functionality that we shipped in Binja out of the box that was built on Rust. And so it just is using, because Rust is, fast, you can interoperate with C and C++ just fine. You can expose APIs, we can call into it. Yeah. Is the playing with knives referring to these APIs or me talking about it or what, Brian? There's been like so many problems with all these things. Suffice to say, now we have just 3, because obviously if you're headless, you don't want necessarily Qt libraries. But Python may have problems on certain platforms, so we've got the core. But now I think the core download provider doesn't obey the HTTPS proxy settings, and so we got to work on that. Like Qt download provider is definitely playing with knives. It turns out. Although it's worked reliably for a while, we just didn't know that there were bugs there. But yeah, it's mixed sync and async, and bad stuff happens. So we've got some fun crash stacks on that. So we have 3. So like if one doesn't work for your platform, you can just switch it. But that's the long and sordid history of the downloader provider summed up in a very short rant, which is really just OpenSSL and namespaces, and trying to do keys is awful. Like you would think that this would be like really a straightforward thing with easy answers, but don't think it is. If you've got a better way, happy to hear it, and can rehash the debate of some of those things. But yeah, core download provider was added as a footnote to that now, because we've actually got Rust inside of Binary Ninja. There's a few other things that started using Rust, and so the C++ template simplification that is a recent dev feature is written in Rust, and there may be some more things coming in Rust, and some better integration with our Rust APIs. So keep an eye out for that. Kyle's actually working on some of that stuff, so we'll see where that goes. But if you're a Rustation, you might be pleased with the direction some of that's going. What else? What else changed? We've got Python 3 is the default, obviously. Python 3.9. Ooh, I haven't actually seen this one yet. It's a really cool feature too, but it's the idea is that you can infer the size of an array when you create it without an explicit size. I'm wondering if anybody has a test binary who's watching that I could drop in to test that. I'm curious about that one. Yeah, I don't actually remember which feature that does. I'm trying to think of that. And then of course, yeah, some other stuff. We also got tons of contributions from the open sourcing of our architectures, which is pretty cool. Oh, the build's done. Ooh. So this machine can't get test builds, but I can download one from a different machine and drop it into the VM. So let me see. Oh yeah, I definitely want to play with this. Yep, I see the test builds go. All right, so the test build, Linux bundle, grab it. All right. All right, it's downloading. So this is going to be very, very bleeding edge code. It's not even landing on dev yet without a little bit more testing, I think. Unless maybe Ryan's done and he just wanted the confirmation that the test build succeeded before he merges it to dev. But even still, it'll be a little ways before it happens. So let's pull it down now. 40 seconds downloading the download from the build server. Oh, here's a fun fact. The zip libraries that we were using to create our zip bundles would sometimes default to not compressing files. So it turns out that our installer bundles were bigger than they had to be because some files were getting added, like just added to the zip archive, like uncompressed, which, yeah, I get that sometimes you might want to do that, but yeah, okay, cool. So Ryan's saying that this is not quite, this feature is not done. It's definitely needs some more testing, but let's play with it on stream and we'll take a look at it. And as long as it doesn't break horribly, we'll give him some feedback on I can spell. Give him some feedback on this. All right, so let's give that one up. Yeah, let's move this. Kill the dev build and move that over here. All right. Oh, quick, disable updates. No, don't update yourself down to a different version. Yeah, that's one of the downsides of playing with one of our dev builds. You gotta like quick. So I think I mentioned this before, but we track which branch you're updating to and whether or not updates are enabled per install location, which is a feature. It's very intentional, but it does mean that every time you have like a new folder that you copied something to, you gotta like quickly go shut it off so it doesn't like, you notice it's gonna go try to download latest stable. That was the first thing it does, which is good default behavior, but okay. All right, I'm excited. Let's see. I hope you guys are actually excited too about this. I don't know if people are. All right, so let's see if I can find it. Reflection, I believe, is the name of our doc widget. Ooh. All right, so it's down here by default. I think I can drag it over here and kill like maybe, yeah, let's leave feature map. Let's make it bigger. So a reflected view, let's see, how do I do this? Let's put high level IL on the right. Or no, let's do high level on the left and assembly on the right. Yeah, let's do it that way. All right, so, and I can zoom out. Yes, yes. You guys see that? You guys see that? Look at that. Right, so I select the printf. There it is. Oh, where's the F open? Oh, it's on that other branch, no problem. So you want to look at, so that, yeah, see, I can see why like that there, right? Like you really would prefer this to be, oh, my side scrolling mouse doesn't work there. Yeah, see, there's the chat. That's nice. And then I think, does it work vice versa? No, okay, it doesn't work right now. This is like the main one, and then this is, again, it's a reflection. This is like the refer to it. So it's not bidirectional. So there's definitely some features and stuff still kind of under development. Yeah, that like centering there. Yeah, that's so minor though. Like this is gonna be really nice. Yeah, and I think we can go to a totally different function. All right. Yep. Look at that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Cycle ILs, right? Yeah. So I can hit I and flip between. I don't think I can hit space to go linear on reflection. Reflection is only graph view, and that makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, like our linear view is just this whole big thing where you can scroll like literally anywhere in the whole thing, and so you don't want that in a little sidebar that's synced to the main one, right? Yeah. So the default location was down here, all right? So let's try Brian's way. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like, well, I've got my resolution cranked kind of fixed 1080 for the stream, and font size is a little large. I don't know. I have to play with this to figure out what I really want to do. And also, I really want this on my Mac now to be able to do my. I have a mouse like a side scrolling scroll bar too, which is really nice for this stuff, but it doesn't work in the VM. Yeah, so I know I'm totally okay with this. Just sort of like one, this is meant to be um, pulled from that. There's that explode bomb. There's that explode bomb. There's that explode bomb. Yes, that's nice. All right, so yeah, I'm actually curious. Vote in the audience. What do y'all prefer? Like, what is the best layout for this? So I could play with like a higher resolution, or reset my font size. Um, so this is the default one, and then if I turn on, so I can Control P show reflection. Yeah, yeah, I turn it on. Yeah, and so I think linear high level IL makes sense. Yeah, I'm more referring to what you guys think is best for like your usage, right? Because we want to make the default case optimized for what the most people prefer or would benefit from. So side by side, side by side. Yeah, I think so. I thought I would like side by side better, like most of y'all, but I don't disagree with Brian. And part of the reason I think that is because if I've got linear view high level IL here, I generally have a lot of horizontal space. Like it's really rare that I mean, I guess long strings or stuff. Occasionally you'll get, oh, it's so like, look how nice that is though, right? Like just scrolling between functions and keeping that right there. No more hitting I and flipping back and forth between assembly to verify things or looking at stuff, or if you want to have medium level IL view up. Oh, and there we go. That's okay. So yeah, this is the real hotness. Let's look at low level IL because this is the other thing that I mentioned. All right, let's put this back to side by side. Let's try that again. Where do I want to? There we go. Oh, missed. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think I might even like. I've been kind of toying with the idea lately of like the function list being less useful. If you've got a really good Go with recency and stuff, like I don't know, maybe anyway, all right, so right, let's go to, oh, there's the puppy barking. Let's see if we can get, so it's low level IL and we've got high level IL over here, right? Let's find a good function call. So there we go. Is that one? No, I saw it a second ago. Where'd it go? Just me level IL? I saw some blue highlights. And I'm looking for those again. So the blue highlights were when you have multiple instructions that are folded into, yeah, this is not, there we go. There's one, right? So string is not equal is our call here, and it's got two arguments. And in this case, oh, interesting, the comparison is blue. I don't know why the comparison would be blue. I'm curious about that. Okay. Yeah, so for eliminations are not behind a fee. So, right. So if we were to switch into SSA view, in the case of a fee statement, it wasn't in there. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about explaining that one for now. But yeah, just in general, we're gonna get some of these functions. We're gonna start seeing. Let's try something else. Let's try. Challenge 2 again? Let's look at that one. Yeah, so like low level IL is gonna look better. Yeah, low level IL and assembly are gonna generally look better over here because like MLIL, where we're folding things up, results in wider basic blocks, but you don't have that in here. And as long as it goes to the right basic block, yeah, that's really nice. So yeah, because these are all under fees, we're missing some of it. But so that blue highlighting, when it's complete, again, there's still some stuff kind of coming out of it. The idea is that you can select a function. You can select anything on the left that came from multiple things. Remember I mentioned earlier, like the multiple mapping APIs. So this printf is not just the call to printf, but it's also the load of the first argument of the format string. And also notice the type libraries are kicking into play there, which is nice. And so what you really should see, oh, it's funny, my iPad's telling me that my limit for YouTube is done for the day. What we would see is a good test. Okay, cool. Brian said he sent me a test binary, so let me drop that in here. Let's take a look at it and see what it looks like. Okay. All right, so let's flip this back over to low-level I/O. No, I didn't play Hack the Vote. But if you want to, if anybody who did play Hack the Vote has, why does my iPad keep telling me that I'm over my time limit for YouTube? That's funny. My iPad is currently my comment checker. Now, if somebody wants to DM me the challenge name was binary, PI Pony, or sorry, the challenge name was ballot, PI Pony. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's just do MLIL then. Let's just do so over here. I'm gonna go back to MLIL. Yeah, and then let's look at a call. Main view, MLIL, SSA, or less, right? So here's just MLIL on the left. Can I go back to assembly? I'm not seeing our stuff here. Yeah, so I don't see the mapping stuff here. But anyway, like one of the goals for this, right, is it's going to show you all of those instructions that map. So when I select this call to printf, you'll actually see all of the arguments being put in there. They'll all be related and highlighted for you at the same time. So that's definitely actually, I think, let me see. So it's current, what would be MLIL 15. Let's see if we've got, so I've got an instruction. I don't know if there's convenience. Yeah, LLILs. It is there. See, so that's the new API that's going to come with this too, right? So the idea is you get that mapping of all of the ILs, not just the single call instruction, right? So we've like the single call here. Actually, that's an SSA. It looks like it's giving us an LIL SSA form. Yeah, interesting. Is it because I'm in? Oh, I might be in an SSA form. No, I'm just in regular MLIL. Yeah. Anyway, so like I said, very like still a work in progress. And like the main reason this came about was because Brian was just working on these better mappings, right? So better API mappings between it. And then he was like, well, you kind of need a way to like visualize this stuff. And that's where he started putting together this little thing. It's like, oh, I kind of accidentally solved the side-by-side sync view along the way. So yeah, like there's definitely some stuff that we're gonna probably put off for like some future changes and stuff to this, like bidirectional. If this can't go back to that, and like better window layouting between the two, and there's maybe you do want linear by linear, or maybe you need linear function at a time before we do that. So there's some stuff that we're thinking through. All right, so let's go to call with static SR source size. So in this function, the cross-reference to this function. And I've got medium level IL here on the main view, and then I've got low level IL over here is what I'm doing. Right. Oh, inside that function. Okay, so oh yeah, because there's no basic blocks here, so this should be just the call at the IL. Go to assembly. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here, so I'm doing something different from you, I think. But yeah, that's definitely going to be coming. So if you guys, yeah, if you guys like the right view, we might change that default then too. It sounds like, yeah. So Brian's build, he's seeing it. Call static source size. He's definitely seeing the highlighting work in there. So there's some bug that I wonder if it's not the theme, because I've seen the blue in mine, so I know it's trying to do. He's got like a different theme that he's using. I'm curious if and I definitely saw like the mappings exist, right? So if I take medium of L call and is this high level? Which one is this? Yeah, I'm currently high. So if I go back to medium, disable all plugins. It's always the plugin's fault. Could be. Nope. No worries. I mean, it's already, I think it's super nice. I think people were already pretty. Snippets is going to be unrelated. Dwarf. And my sample plugin is the flow graph stuff, so that should be totally related too. What other plugins do I have? Add installed. I can't imagine any of these are causing any trouble. Well, let's just for kicks. All right, so now all I have is my sample plugin. It's pretty innocuous. Oh, the synthwave theme. All right, so we'll try this. We'll try the theme. We'll see if that works. So oh no, there it is. Interesting. Is it a plugin? How would one of those plugins have? Hold on. I don't believe it. Let's binary search this. Oh, that's funny. So because I'm using a test build, my build number does not match the actual current unified build system build number, which is pretty funny. Binary ninja search, absolutely. All right, let's try those, and then let's restart. Let's open that. Let's go to that. It's working. Enable that. SC Ninja. I'm not gonna. Yes, I know it's wrong. All right. Still working. So what else we got? Snippets and dwarf import. All right. Unless it was because I launched it differently. Oh, wait a minute. Cannot set parent. This is interesting. I wonder if that's related. See, it's all working now. Hold on. Let me cd download. Yes. No, stream folder, binge. And I switched fast enough. Okay. And it's still working. Okay, so there's some bug unrelated to plugins, but restarting fixed it. And the actual error I got is this, which I'll send. I do that. Ugh, that highlighting is just the worst. I'll send that to you, Brian, so you've got the exact error message. All right. Yep. Yeah, so I think there's just probably just a bug somewhere in there. Let me see if I can hide that again. Okay, and there. All right, yeah, so this is the intended behavior. This is what it's supposed to be doing. So it's something to break it. Well, that's why it's still being worked on. And yeah, so if I actually, so this is interesting. What do I just had the first address selected. I'm in disassembly now. I really want to the other way around. I want media mobile here, and I want disassembly here. Oh, maybe that's why. Oh, no, that's pretty. Yeah, that's really nice there. Yeah, look at that. That's exactly what I wanted, right? So these are all of the instructions. And again, I can do current mlil2.lils, or actually .lils, and I can take each of these and get the assembly addresses from each of them. .address, right? Yeah, so we can pull out those, and we can get a list of all of these addresses that are being shown as related. That's cute. Yeah, just the one, boom. That call gets composed of all of those things. Very nice. Yep. I like it. I think that's going to be a super cool feature. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm losing my voice a little bit here. So I might wrap up the stream pretty soon. Anybody have any questions before we shut it down? Let's see. Let me see here. Can go to this guy. Yeah. Do I want to solve the challenge on stream? I'm so out of practice on CTL. I should. It'd be embarrassing, but I probably should. Maybe next week. I'll take a look at ballot day. If that was the binary. I don't know if it is a has-been CTF player who used to do CTFs can solve in 2 hours thing. If not, it's use their online thing. That's cute. If I solve it now, you will buy Binary Ninja. All right, somebody who solved it, tell me how long it took you to solve it. So Chase, the Rust stuff, I don't think I've seen Kyle in chat. I don't know if he's in there right now, but the short summary is we already have some Rust bindings that are semi-public. So Ryan Snyder on our team built them a while ago. The only reason they're not totally public is because he only implemented a subset of the APIs. There were some things that he didn't want to kind of commit to in the APIs until he had them sort of figured out. But right now, like if you join the Binary Ninja Slack and say I can't have Rust, please, you'll get, you don't have to use that exact phrase. You'll get invited to the channel, and it's a GitLab that has the if it took 2 to 2.5 hours, yeah, I don't know, but I might have my has been, right? So you say that, but I'm not against doing some challenges. I only want to use the Binary Ninja streams for Binary Ninja stuff. So if it's a challenge I can use Binary Ninja on, I don't mind taking a look at it. But if it's not, I might just do it like on my own stream later. I mean, if it's just walking through your write-up in a different tool, I don't think it's interesting to the rest of the audience. And also, I don't think PyPony would buy a license to Binary Ninja if I solve a live on stream right now. I'm not against it. I promise you I won't cheat and look at write-ups next week. If it is something that I can use Ninja for at all, and folks tell me it might be doable, then that is the kind of thing that I want to be doing on stream, is solving some CCF challenges using Binary Ninja. So maybe you guys can just give me hints if I get stuck on it. I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream for now. I guess only because I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit and need to go check and make sure the kids haven't burned anything down. I only heard the dog one time, so that's a good sign. Also, I don't know. I forgot. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm leaning past the mic. Yeah, so I'm up for that maybe next week. Any other? Yeah, Brian, you shouldn't be talking me up either, too. You always like undersell. I used to be good at CTF, but that was when CTS were easy, and they've gotten a lot harder now. So now I make no promises. All right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. Oh, I just realized my video wasn't playing, which is why I wasn't seeing myself on the iPad. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I think we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna try to be consistent, so we'll see you here next week from about 5 to 7 as well, and maybe we'll be doing a CTF challenge, or maybe we'll do some other stuff. So thanks for hanging. Take care.